Welcome to this exclusive commentary-filled preview of GladiEATers for the London Games Festival official selection. I'm Oliver Thurwood-Jajalis, the producer and designer here at Milk Bubbles Games, and today I'll be serving up a somewhat underbaked pre-alpha version of GladiEATers, the creature cooking game. I'm going to briefly introduce you to the world of GladiEATers, where scientists have discovered the means to give food life via the cal particle, animating the inanimate calories in food. This briefly led to war, with massive shakshuka creatures, fried eggs, grilled tomatoes, cakes being used as weapons in military warfare. After the Cal Wars, the Council was formed to limit gladiator combat to the Coliseums. This is one of our combat chefs, Eggy, and another combat chef, Diane. In GladiEATers, the player plays as one of 7 combat chefs, each with their own cooking styles, abilities, and creatures. First up, we're going to be playing as Eggy against Loga, the avocado-making chef. Here we are in the cookbook, where you're going to be selecting the steps to cook up your team of food creatures. Eggy picks her ingredient. Ultimately, all she makes is eggs, so this is quite a simple step. However, there are many different ways you can cook an egg, and we have lots of different egg GladiEATers. Here, the player gets to decide, do they want to go down the raw egg cracking path, or do they want to go down the boil an egg path? And we're doing the boil an egg path. So we're going to be boiling this egg. Here are some instructions for the cooking game, where we're going to be keeping the egg underwater and then eventually taking it out with space. I'm particularly good at all these games because I've done them about 1 million times each. However, I do miss it here, and I got it. So depending on how well you do in these games, you're going to be given a grade, and then the stats of your GladiEATers will improve the better you do in these cooking games. So here we got an S, and we got the healthiest unpeeled boiled egg creature that you can get. After a cooking game, you can serve that GladiEAter, adding it to your team, or you can keep developing it. You have to manage this because you have that time running out at the top there. The timer does only count down when you're actually in a cooking game, so that you have time to be as strategic with your creature cooking decisions as you want. Now I'm going to be chopping an egg. For this, we're going to be pressing space as close to the center as we can get. I said I've played these games a lot of times, but apparently I'm still quite bad at them. I got a B here. My speed of my boiled egg halves isn't as good as it could be. Again, we could serve these now, save some time and start cooking something else and get more creatures, or we could keep developing it. Here we have the choice to whisk it into a deviled egg, which we're going to do. So we're going to grab that whisk and we're going to draw big circles, and the goal here is to get the circles as perfectly circular as possible. Again, clearly, I'm not as good as I thought I was. Another B. We have 15 seconds here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to serve this deviled egg, adding it to our team, and then we have the other half from the egg we sliced, and I'm going to serve that as well. Moving forward, let's try cracking the egg and going down the other egg path. For this, you're going to press A and D as evenly as you can, and then that straight line in the middle, if you can get that the whole way, that's the best. Otherwise, you end up with an A. Now we have the option to fry the egg, or we can whisk it and make some more stuff there. I'm going to fry it in this case. The goal of this game is to keep the egg inside that heat spot. Maybe a bit hard to tell, but the egg is very slippery, and it's quite hard to keep it inside there. Just like that, I've ran out of time. I did get an A, so it's not that bad. I'm serving that fried egg, and this is my team. I've got 1 boiled egg half, 1 deviled egg, and 1 fried egg. Before the fight, the chefs share one of hundreds of sets of dialogue unique to their particular interaction and relationship. And here we're up against Loga, the primordial eating chef who only prepares raw vegetable GladiEATers. Each GladiEAter has 3 abilities completely unique to them. These are the deviled eggs abilities here. Up here is the timeline, where we'll see the order in which each GladiEAter is going to be taking their turns. The position of the GladiEATers on the timeline is determined by their speed and also the recovery time of their last ability. Right here, we're going to select a yolk bolt attack for our deviled egg, dealing some decent damage. Next up, it's our boiled egg half turn, as you can see from the timeline. These are our boiled egg half's abilities. Spring around to dodge the next attack, bounce off to deal some damage, or yolk stare to debuff. Here we're going to be reducing the power of this avocado half so that when it deals damage, it does less damage. This raw avocado scratched me, dealt a little bit of damage, not too problematic there. Here are fried egg's different abilities. We're going to be casting Yolk Beam to try to get rid of this raw eggplant. Yolk Beam is a charge ability, so it's going to happen later along in the timeline. Ogre just cast Search Weakness on my boiled egg half, which means my boiled egg half is going to deal less damage going forward. And that avocado half is charging up Launch Pit. You can hover over any gladiator to see what their abilities are. There are about 70 gladiators in the game, each with 3 unique abilities, so sometimes you need to do that just to remind yourself what on earth a raw eggplant does. It's Loga's turn here. He's going to be trying to take down my fried egg before I cast its Yolk Beam. That's not nearly enough damage though. That raw eggplant there cast Stem Flail, which does deal some damage back to itself, and as a result it did get destroyed. The avocado half, sort of like a cannon, launched its pit into my boiled egg half, dealing quite a lot of damage, but not quite enough to destroy it yet. Considering my options for the deviled egg here, the deviled egg of course being a devil living inside an egg, it has these evil yolk magic abilities, and we're going to be casting Brooding Curse on this avocado half here, and in 3 turns that's going to deal a lot of damage. I definitely have the advantage in numbers right now, but you know, sometimes a few lucky abilities from the enemy side here and the tables could turn. The avocado half has the ability to regain its seed, which helps quite a lot when it comes to, you know, launching another one. That Yolk Beam was devastating, and now Loga only has his avocado half left. I'm going to be trying to maximize the amount of damage I can output here. That curse needs 3 turns to activate, 1 left, but I don't know if it will even manage. Watching out for this launch pit here. But now I have my finishing blow on Loga, so Eggy's going to be taking this one home, and my hard-earned victory finally happened. So that was a fight between Eggy and Loga. Up next we would be fighting Jewel. However, since our time is limited here, I think I'm going to transition to some different gameplay of us playing as Diane, our Hellenic, cutthroat, onion-focused chef. And we're going to be up against Apolline. Diane can choose either an onion or tomato, so we're already getting a bit more advanced than Eggy's gladiator roster. And first off, we're going to be washing our onions. Now, do you need to wash your onions? Maybe not at home, but in the Coliseum, that's the level of hygiene that they require. Gonna be slicing up this onion here. Didn't do too bad. Then we'll deep fry that onion slice, dip it in the batter, dip it in the hot oil, and be ready to take it out as soon as the temperature gauge tells us to. So it's perfectly cooked. Serving that, adding it to our team. We're now going to go for a tomato, and we're going to just do a raw tomato here by washing it. There's 2 modes in this washing game that you can go for a wide spread or more focused spread by right-clicking. And we're going to slice this tomato up. That was really not very good. You'd think I'd be better. Grilling these onions now. The trick is to flip them just at the right time so they get cooked best on both sides. I've cooked these perfectly, so we get an S and the highest speed for our grilled tomato slice gladiators. We only have 20 seconds of cooking time left, so I'm going to wash this onion as quickly as I can. And that's an S, we're getting a very good health there. We still have time to slice up this onion. I'm trying to cut as close as I can to the line. Okay, could be better. I think we're going to grill this onion slice here, putting it on the grill, then flipping it just when it's in the perfect temperature zone. We're just gonna move it to a different area of the griddle so that it stays hot, just like in real life where if you have food sitting on the side of the pan, the side with no food is gonna be hotter. And I tried to rush this onion as fast as I could, but we are out of time here. So that means I have 1 raw onion, grilled tomato slices, fried onion ring, and another grilled onion. We're up against Apolline, and Diane and Apolline have a very animus relationship, not fans of each other, and this is going to be an intense battle. Apolline here is our ex-French royalty chef who bakes delectable desserts and cakes, which as gladiators are themed around castles and towers. So for example there you can see the chocolate cupcake in the bottom, and then you can see the chocolate icing above it, where the chocolate cupcake becomes a tower for the chocolate icing to shoot down chocolate cocoa pods. Diane's onion gladiator abilities involve making enemies cry, just like how onions can make you cry in real life. Going to cast Peel Feel here, which buffs our allies' next attack to make enemies cry. Crying gladiators can't cast the same ability twice, and if they get 2 procs of tear on them, they will have a tantrum and take a lot of damage. That's a powerful chocolate cannonball that's going to push forward our gladiator in the timeline and deal some damage. We're going to charge up overpowering juice where the grilled tomato is going to blast the enemy with its acidic tomato juice. The plain cupcake shielding itself up. Apolline's going for a defensive play here by also building chocolate walls around its cupcake and using cocoa fog to buff the resistance of its gladiators. Another greasy stew here, trying to eliminate one gladiator, get that advantage up. But Apolline is playing very defensively, making it quite hard for me to break through right now. I'm gonna cast Teary Touch. Grilled Tomatoes overpowering juice here activates, also with the buff from Peel Feel earlier that makes the entire enemy cry. You can see from those smoky lines that Grilled Tomato has actually reduced the power of all the enemy gladiators with that hit. Just gonna eliminate this chocolate icing, giving me the turn advantage here. Apolline went for a very defensive playstyle, but I must have just outcooked her, cooked more, cooked better, and commanded my gladiators in combat better. It's that interaction between what you cook, how you cook it, and how you command it in the battle scene that makes gladiators. Apolline's quite upset about losing there, giving me some French proverb about minding my own onions. Up next would have been a battle against Jaemin, our sizzling combat chef spy, but that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much to the London Games Festival for selecting gladiators, and thank you so much for coming by and watching. Feel free to stay tuned for lots more gladiators news coming on all our socials.